What up, guys? Alchemist saying something nice for you. So today we're rocking a simple build. Simple, but not weak, okay? Just because simple don't mean it's weak. We are abusing the super stat today. So as y'all all know, Bungie revamped super, all the stats in general in the game, but they revamped super stat where basically it actually means a lot in this game now. If you got like 0 super stat, you are getting little to no energy in the game. It will take you forever to get your super. But on the contrary, if you got 100 super stat, you literally can get your super within 15 seconds. It's that crazy, right? And then now, of course, your super can do more damage the higher your super is past the 100 bar, making that your super can do, I think, 50% more damage, 40%, 50% more damage. Y'all see right here, right? So I was like, we gotta make a super build. Now I told you guys I wanted to make a build for almost every featured hunter exotic. Dragon Shadow PvP, so we ignored that one. We did Baccaris. We still got Blight Ranger left. We did Capri Stain. We did Match Felty. Signet Arachne, we throw that into the prismatic, you know, build, right? Oathkeeper, we did that. This PvP. Haven't done this one yet. Caliban, we just did a Caliban one for Solstice. Check that video out. But we also got Caliban inside a couple of our builds as well in the exotic class item. Gifted Conviction, we just did. We did Morai. We did Lucky Pants. This is our Star Eater build. And then we already did Speedloader Slack. So if you don't have the exotic class item for this build, don't worry. You got Star Eater scales to put on instead of the exotic class item. So don't worry. Now, what we're rocking in our exotic class item is Spirit of Star Eater. But we also pairing it with Spirit of Galanor, just so when we get done using our super, we'll get 30% of our super gauge back to give us basically a head start for our next super, right? So this is what I mean by the super bar is insane right now. If y'all already seen with the beginning footage as well, this gonna prove it too. As you can see, there's no super. We don't have no super right now. But if I use Outbreak Perfected and make sure I get precision shots, you see that super bar going up very quick right now in that short amount of time. Hold on, one more, oh, and we're done. Already out of super that quick. That's how insane the super bar is, and that's how insane it is if you're doing anything with tick damage in the game, making Outbreak Perfected one of the best weapons to use in the game for getting your super back quick. Now, just making an art piece right here. Now look at that, just beautiful. Anyway, some people may not know this. You get more super energy from getting precision shots, not body shots. If you do body shots, it takes way longer to super back. Way longer, as you can see, compared to when I was getting precision shots. So make sure you're getting precision shots when you're trying to get your super back quick. Make sure you're doing precision shots. It takes longer with body shots. Some people probably didn't know that. There goes some good information for you. The more damage you do, the more super energy you get, and the more tick damage you do, the more super energy you got. So in this build, we will be abusing Outbreak Perfected, and we got Air Denial Grenade Launcher because they do tick damage as well, so that'll make your super bar go quick as well when you throw it into a group of enemies. So we're rocking that as our 2 weapons in this build. If you don't need the Air Denial because of Outbreak Perfected giving your super bar back very quick, then you do not have to have it on. You put on something else. But yeah, that's what I went with. And then your heavy can be whatever you want. Free reign to you, okay? Only thing you need in this build is 200 super stat. Everything else is up to you on what you want to have the stat distribution. Now, one thing that's very important in this build, let me reset my super again. We're gonna change our super just for a second real quick. Shoot tether, okay? Now, in this build, the thing that makes the super come back even quicker for this season is a certain artifact perk we got, which is kind of insane how this works. So I'm gonna pop that, and then I'm gonna get Radiant, and then while I shoot Outbreak Perfected, them solar explosions that's going at other enemies, they give us a chunk of super energy whenever they blow up on an enemy. So this makes that you get your super back even quicker than if you were just using Outbreak Perfected. So you want to make sure you stay Radiant non-stop, sadly, because Outbreak Perfected is not a solo weapon. You want to make sure you stay Radiant non-stop so that you can abuse Radiant Shrapnel in this build. Because them solar explosions give you a chunk of super energy whenever it blows up on an enemy, making you get your super back quick. So if you're doing it on the boss as well, Your super come back very quick with the solar shrapnel doing a U-turn and hitting the boss. So this perk right here, this artifact perk right here, making that super come back even quicker than what it's supposed to. That's the only mandatory artifact perk you need in this build. The only thing. If you don't want Outbreak Perfected in this build, you can definitely put on Fever Chill, take out Outbreak Perfected, and put on Tommy Matchbook. Tommy Matchbook gets the job done just as well, right? We just hip fire. Tommy Matchbook keeps you radiant non-stop because of it being a solar weapon. It does scorch, so it's doing tick damage as well. And literally, you will get super back very quick with just using Tommy Matchbook with the same setup. Only issue is you will have to reload with this gun. That's the only issue. But your super do come back very quick rocking Tommy Matchbook as well in this build. So if you want to put solar in this build and utilize the Colorado Darkness setup, by all means, you definitely can. So that if you don't like Outbreak Perfected, that will be your next go-to. Okay, Polaris Lance as well, but Polaris Lance is the slowest out of all of them. But Polaris Lance does the Scorch as well, and will keep giving you Radiant for the Radiant Shrapnel to activate and do what you got to do, right? But yeah, that is your alternative. If you don't want to use Outbreak Perfected, you can use Tommy Matchbook to do more of the solar synergy inside the build. Now, the super we're rocking is Silk Strike. Silk Strike is the strongest hunter super in the game. Now, before you say, "Nuh-uh, that's not true, Alchemist," Golden Gun is the only strongest super in the game if you're rocking the combo with Celestial Nighthawk and stuff, right? But without that, over time with the, and plus Celestial Nighthawk, even if you do that, it's still not strong super. Over time, Silk Strike do more damage. But I know Celestial Nighthawk is a one and done. You go back to your weapons, you do a more better DPS rotation. I know. But if we just talking about just straight super damage, Silk Strike takes it from just striking all day inside the super. And you're probably saying, but what about Arc Staff? Arc Staff do more than Silk Strike if you got Radiant Flux on. But then Radiant Flux means staying in your super longer, meaning, you know, you're doing less when it comes to, oh, you're in your super too long compared to like Celestial Nighthawk, right? So Silk Strike's the only super where you're not in it that long, but it still do the most damage for the hunter. So Silk Strike is the hunter's strongest super without, you know, throwing the exotics into the mix. Silk Strike is the strongest, right? Now, we also got our Star Eaters to make the damage even more. So yeah, and with Silk Strike and Golden Gun, you only get 30% of your super energy back from popping it with Galanor compared to other supers that give you 50%. But regardless, it's still a lot of damage and you get a lot of your energy back. 30% is still a lot. You know, 30% is still a good chunk for you to work with to get your super back very quick. See, 30% right there, and then you just shoot the rest with Outbreak Perfected, right? Now, what we're rocking? We're rocking Acrobat Dodge. Like I said, you want to stay radiant in this build non-stop. The gameplay loop is going to be you using Acrobat Dodge. You're shooting, and then you throw your Threaded Spike to reproc the radiant with Facet of Dawn so that you get 10 seconds back. It bounces off enemies, keep triggering the 10 seconds over and over again. By the time you do that, you'll have your Acrobat Dodge again in the build. We got Dustfield Grenade on to slow targets, but you can pick whatever grenade you want. I actually would say do Grapple Grenade instead, because then Grapple Grenade you can grapple melee, reproc radiant again for Facet of Dawn to get that extra 10 seconds again. So Grapple Grenade. We got on Threaded Spectre for survivability, so whenever we pop Ascension, not only is it quicker to pop Ascension instead of doing that whole roll with Acrobat Dodge, we'll get Amplified with Ascension, and we'll leave a clone in the air for the enemies to focus on them, so that we can just do what we want to do for free without, you know, getting killed and taking damage and stuff, right? We're going on Fossil of Hope so that our Acrobat Dodge come back quicker, because we're going to always have Ascension on or something like that, right? You know, Facet of Purpose so we get Wolf and Mail and pick up an Ore for survivability. Facet of Grace so whenever we get kinetic kills with Outbreak Perfected, we get more Transcendence energy, so we can have a lot of popping Prismatic Transcendence in this build a lot and popping out Super a lot. Like, seriously. You see the gameplay footage. And then we got Facet Protection on for survivability as well. Stats. Not stats, mods. We got Super Font, so we get that plus 20, so we do have 200 super stat in this build. We got on Kinetic Siphon to make an Ore from Outbreak Perfected, and then we got Arc Siphon on for if we ever get kills with the Psycho Pump on our build. we'll get some more orbs. But whatever your secondary weapon is. Arm piece, we got on Focusing Strike, 2 of them, so that we get a lot of class ability energy back from throwing our Threaded Spike. And then we got Impact Induction to get some grenade energy when we use our Threaded Spike. Chest piece, rocking our Resist Mods, melee damage resistance, solar resistance. And then we got Kinetic Ammo Generation, so we make more special ammo, well, special ammo and heavy ammo when getting kills with Outbreak Perfected. Leg piece, we got Better Already, so we pick up an orb, start health regen. Kinetic Weapon Surge make Outbreak Perfected do more damage. And then we got Insulation, so we get more class ability energy when we pick up an orb. Class item, we got on Reaper, so whenever we pop Ascension, we get a weapon kill, that's an orb. Distribution, pop Ascension to our enemies, we get ability energy for all our abilities. Then we got Bomber on, whenever we pop Ascension, we get some grenade energy back. That's the full build. Definitely simple, like I said. I don't know if I threw the damage numbers on top, but yeah, that's just me showing the difference in Silk Strike without Feast of Lights, and then Silk Strike with Feast of Light. I think without it, it does like 20,000, but then when you got max Feast of Lights on, it does like 40,000, 40 something thousand. Big difference, okay? So in this build, as you see with my gameplay footage, you're really gonna be able to pop it non-stop. There was one moment I popped my super, got out of it, and then I shot the boss with Radiant on, with Outbreak Perfected, doing all the solar shrapnel and stuff, and got my super back in like 10 seconds, 10 to 12 seconds. And I popped Silk Strike again. It's truly insane. The only thing you probably gonna be struggling with in this build is getting them orbs. Getting the 6 orbs before you want to transform. Because you're gonna have your super before you find the 6 orbs. I'll be honest with you. You're gonna have your super before you get the 6 orbs. So it's all up to you on, do you want to just pop your super normally, or do you want to wait to get the 6 orbs and then go even crazier? And you're gonna be getting prismatic a lot as well. So if I say there's anything in this build I'll probably change up, it's probably taking off Cycle Pump. I like the bolt charges with my melee, but to be more optimal, I probably would take Cycle Pump off and put on like Velocity Baton with Attrition Orbs on it, just so I can pick up more orbs to cater to me getting my super back quick, and then going, you know, just crazy with my Piece of Light Silk Strike. But this the full build, very fun, very strong. The gameplay you seen was -40, so you taking in harder in content. By all means, have fun with this build. Every build I need to be like, oh, there's a lot going on. Some builds just like, hey, here you go. Turn brain off, just use it. And this one of them builds, okay? If you don't have that exotic class item, just put on regular Star Eater scales and you're good to go, okay? Love you guys, appreciate you guys always, and until next time, stay up.